topic and invite here on stage my dear friend and colleague, Mr. Władysław Welkov. Please come here. He will go deep in the blockchain. Vladi, please join me. He knows better, and we use the best. So
thank you, Venci.
Go, Vladi.
Dami.
Applause for Vladi.
Venci, dami. Thank you. Hello, hello. It's nice to see you again. Let me fix my flip chart. And my presentation is here, so everything is okay. Is there an empty sheet?
Yes, right. I let it with you.
Okay, thank you, Christy. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Today I have a very important task. I'm going to share technical details about the blockchain that is running under the hood. Hey. This will be a technical talk because blockchain is a technical topic. If you find some of the things that I'm sharing hard to understand, you can find a very detailed description of everything that I'm talking today in our blockchain courses in the academy. Thank you, King. In order to make this talk more interesting and more useful for you, I would like to give you the opportunity to ask me any questions related to the blockchain. So you have the opportunity to ask me anything, and I will do my best to answer your questions during my presentation. Do you like that? Okay, who want to start with the first question? There are two microphones with King, one in the King, and I think the second one is in Mauricio. No? Okay, perfect. Bring the microphones to the public. Who wants a microphone to ask the first question? If there are no questions, I'll just go out and we can drink something. Okay, there.
No suena. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Gustavo Ramírez y...
Aló.
Hola, hola. Mauro. Mi nombre es Gustavo Ramírez y quiero saber, leí un artículo que decía que hay 3 clases de blockchain. Hay privado, público e híbrido. Y leí que el nuestro es híbrido. Quiero una explicación al respecto.
I read an article about our blockchain, and I saw we have, or there are a private, public, and hybrid blockchain. I would like to know what kind of blockchain do we have?
Okay. Thank you. Great question. Perfect. The next one. Okay, there.
Hola.
Where?
Vladimir acá. Es que
okay.
soy el más grande. Sabemos que nosotros como tecnología tenemos que competir con compañías como Visa, Mastercard para hacer transacciones. ¿Qué velocidad o cuántas transacciones realiza nuestra blockchain por segundo? ¿Qué tan competitivos somos nuestra blockchain frente al sistema que lleva muchos años?
Okay. We know that we have to compete with another technology like Visa, MasterCard, and other companies. I would like to know what is the speed of our technology, how many transactions per minute or per second in order to compete with those companies.
Speed and number of transactions, great. Perfect. Okay.
Gracias.
Gracias.
¿Qué tan segura es nuestra tecnología en el blockchain? ¿Es hackeable o inhackeable?
How secure is our technology? Is it hackable or not hackable?
Hackable or not? Okay, thank you. Two more questions. There.
Buenas tardes. De pronto las preguntas que han hecho son personas que están más adelantadas y habemos preguntas que no sabemos qué es la blockchain.
Okay, maybe these previous questions are very advanced, very technical, but I would like to know a very basic one. What is blockchain?
Okay.
Por favor, en un término simple.
He wants the blockchain explanation in simple terms. ¿Quién hizo la pregunta? ¿Quién hizo esa última pregunta? Ok, para el que hizo la pregunta, el capitán King le manda decir que tiene que comprar el paquete nivel número 1 de blockchain y ahí está la explicación. Sin embargo, aquí le van a dar una
Yeah, King,
explicación.
help me with this question. Yeah?
Yes. What about the energy that is necessary for mining? That's in a blockchain. For example, Bitcoin needs a lot of energy for being mined. And what's the case of our blockchain in this case, concerning energy?
You mean how power is required by
Yes,
the miners?
yes.
Okay.
For example, that's it.
More questions?
Okay, if you give me your applauses, I will take one more question. Applauses? Yeah, one more.
Excuse me. La pregunta es, ¿cómo nuestra blockchain, siendo una tecnología de avanzada, se va a acoplar a la www.3.0 que se viene?
If we had such an advanced blockchain, how are we going to pattern with the new .30, which is coming?
Tricky question. I will rephrase this by how we are going to compete with all competitors. Is it okay? Thank you for these great questions. I promise that till the end of my presentation, you will know the answers of all of them. Do you accept this promise? Thank you. Thank you that you trust me. Why blockchain? And what is blockchain? The blockchain ensures the integrity of the payment process and store immutable information about the history of the transactions and the balances of user accounts. Blockchain helps in verification and traceability of multi-step transactions. Also, it can provide secure transaction, it can reduce compliance costs, and speed up the data processing. Blockchain verified data is highly secured and trustworthy, meaning transactions can be proceed much faster in today's world without compromising security. Moreover, the future of blockchain in finance also bringing us opportunity to process transactions 24/7. No bank can offer you to proceed your transfer in a second, 24/7, every single day in the year. Let's go a little bit techy. An important part of the One ecosystem is the blockchain network. It stores and processes all the transactions that are coming via the REST service layer. When developing this solution, we were working with the requirements separated in two main groups, functional and non-functional. The functional requirements are the operationals and processes that are happening in the ecosystems. Buying packages, exchanging tokens, sending coins, all kinds of these activities. We were providing a convenient, secure, but at the same time, a transparent way of handling payments, transactions between the users, and also a transparent process for the admins to control all the activities in the network and to keep high standards in our KYC process. The non-functional requirements are describing as quantitative characteristics, necessary parameters for the transactions that we need to cover. Part of the requirements came from the initial migration from the old blockchain, and other part of the non-functional requirements are aligned with future migration to the public network, as you already know from the Vensis talk. What is a payment transaction? Can you give me a good definition of payment transaction? We are talking about the transfer of ownership of fungible token managed by a smart contract on the blockchain. This is a technical description, and I hope that you will understand this definition. This action of value transfer is expressed and translated into blockchain transaction that invokes a smart contract managing the balance of users and specifically their accounts. With regards to the number of coins, each balance is held before and after the execution of the required transaction. I already mentioned tokens. We are speaking about fungible tokens. The notion of fungible tokens depicts several important characteristics. A token has no differentiator against other, which means that every coin is the same and has the same value. A token can be always exchanged between accounts, free coin flow between all users. A token cannot be treated differently with regards to any of the associated transactions that took place between the execution. A token has no specific identification. It is a part of the transaction that matter, but the token is the same. What about the token management? The rules by which a token is created, transferred, and destroyed is governed by a smart contract that is deployed on the blockchain component. These rules are enforced by a virtual machine that execute the smart contract code without any differences on which validator's node the code is executed. The operations which can be executed are transferring, burning, and balance changed. As you ask me how secure is our blockchain, it depends on how many nodes you have, because as I told you, the transactions are the same and you have exact copy of the network on all nodes. So if you have as much as possible nodes, you are strong and stable, because the attacks can influence part of the network, but not bigger part of them. And to influence the network enough, they need 51% of the nodes, which is a challenging task. As you already heard, there are two types of payments processed by the system: atomic payment and conditional payment. Of course, they relate to our operation. The atomic payment process is initiated by the user with the intent to transfer value represented by the number of tokens from one account to another, sending coins. Technically, this process has to go through several stages of the execution and validation, and yet to be atomic, with either a positive result, indicating a successful transaction, or a failure status, indicating that the transaction has either been cancelled or there are other factors preventing the execution of the process. The conditional payment is specially developed for deal shaker. The coupon is tricky part for the blockchain, because the buyer and the seller are interacting for delivery of a deal. The outcome of the process is either confirmed payment or cancelled payment, depending on the fact that the delivery is respectively successful or not. So it requires some additional logic to make it compliant with the deal shaker requirements. If we speak about our blockchain network, One Eco System uses a private setup of blockchain network. It's based on Ethereum software, and it's established code base that is managed and monitored by the owners of the system. The CEO already told you about our plans to go public until the end of the year, when the transactions must be moved onto a public blockchain and all the balances and wallets will be there. What do you think about that? It's a huge step for us, guys. Believe me. The goal of this action is to be transparent as much as possible, and we will keep you updated about the progress and the expected delivery. Stay tuned about the public blockchain. The necessary consensus algorithm must be energy efficient and lightweighted at the same time. Such as algorithm cannot rely on proof of work because it's very inefficient in many aspects. A very strong candidate when we developed the platform was proof of authority, which allow for faster block time and does not rely on heavy resources, and we are using proof of authority at the moment. To make us even better and to be able to beat the number of the transactions of the huge providers like Visa and MasterCard, we are investigating and evaluating the pros and cons of proof and stake, because Ethereum is going to adopt proof of stake protocol, and we want to challenge our dev team how efficient and what are the benefits that it can bring to the community. The desired block time is no higher than 10 seconds. Preferably, it should be 5 seconds per block. It depends by the volume that you are generating for transactions. This block time of 5-10 seconds create a comfortable transaction execution that do not confuse the user, So I'm sending a few coins to King to pay for my lunch, and he can see the transfer in 5 to 10 seconds there in his wallet. Thank you. You are a great auditory. During the last 5 years, blockchain-based tokens gained popularity and proved to be a sustainable approach to the transfer of value and digital assets on the blockchain-based. Using the solution, the user of the system will be empowered to earn, get, and transfer coin with an extremely reliable mechanism. The standard has emerged as most used and stable in the ERC20 standard. It defines the interfaces for the implementation of smart contract. That gives the process of burning, balance, management, and transfer of tokens. The token standard is on a par with ERC20, and it implements as fully as defined in the Ethereum community. The token standard defines the minimal interface required for the existing solution, and our system uses more than the minimal set, believe me. Scalability. How scalable is our solution? I can tell you, it's scalable as hell. You can grow. It depends only on you. So bring power in our community, and the blockchain will handle it. When a server that hosts the solution doesn't have enough resources for handling the input, it spreads the load by using the traditional load balancing technique to achieve horizontal scalability. Since the solution is designed in a stateless way, this is fairly straightforward to achieve. The figure on the slide gives you an overview of the layout that is supported. Each of the payments serves its own set of transactions, requested and submitted and executed the smart contract. Smart contracts start the transactions to the blockchain network independently and in parallel achieve a huge scale of all incoming transactions. What is the solution architect? It's driven by all the requirements of one ecosystem, and it's continuing evolving by the new opportunities to evolve. Its core components are designed by the need for migration of previous blockchain and the opportunity to bridge in the future to the public network. This slide illustrates the building blocks and the system concept of the solution. To satisfy the requirements, the solution includes a transaction queue, a manager, and a scheduler. Whenever a payment request is coming in through the API server, the BPO object inside its payload is covered into a generic structure that represents concrete smart contract. Concrete smart contract code that need to be broadcasted to the blockchain network as a transaction. This prepared structure is recorded into a transaction log, after which the payment request is completed. So simple. This simple process assures a very high insertion rate and practically utilizes efficiently the capability of the underlying web server. A realization without introducing a blockchain latency factor or anything related to the long asynchronization and iteration with it. User identity is a core concept that almost any multi-user environment has to deal with. The system provides identity to its users via credentials. They are stored in a central database. A traditional way was adopted by many web based systems. Users are given these credentials, and once provided, they are matched, and the result of the matching confirms the identity in the blockchain and authorize the user. In the case of blockchain, user identity is not stored in a central database. Rather, the users themselves are holding the keys with which they are in position to authenticate themselves in the blockchain. The server way of authentications force the management of the private key on the side of the user. If this key is lost, his identity is lost forever. Is there someone of you who had lost his key to the wallet? Be honest, I lost twice. Yeah, okay, many hands here. Going this way for a full-blown web-based platform is not an option to leave the users to handle their keys on their own. That is why the solution keep a hybrid approach. We solve the issue of lost keys and introduce a flexibility in key management. The well-known approach of user identity handling on the side of the system is known as custodian wallet. In such a configuration, it is important for the system to assure well-defined and secure access to the private keys of the users. The private keys will be used to execute smart contract transaction for the supported payment. After you heard a lot of technical details, it's time to brief you shortly on where to find your transactions hash and how to check it in Block Explorer. I'm sure that part of you are well familiar with this process, but let's go together through it and see how it's works. Can you bring my laptop on the screen? Okay, what is the pin? Who knows the pin? I already tried that. Ništa nisi napisao mi tače. As always, he held all the keys and all the answers. Maybe the technical team need your applause to put the demo on the screen. Demo, 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 demo. Perfect. You are familiar with this screen, right? I want to tell you, this is our demo environment. No private data will be revealed during this demo, so you can be sure that your data is safe. I will start by initiating a simple coin transaction. One user is sending crypto to the other user. Okay? Perfect. So I'm ready with Kimi, who is going to his coin wallet. Let me check the other user and what is his nickname. Okay. 876890. 876890. Kim is going to send, let's say, 11 coins to his friend, a present for a birthday. King, that's for you. Okay. Kim is sending the coins, confirmation, confirming the transactions, and you can see what's happening here. So we have a few blocks, and we can check the detailed transaction. Kimi has a few other transactions that I already did today. And you can see that when the transaction is completed, here in the detail transaction view, you have a hashtag. This hash relates to the transaction where this amount is transferred. And you can check in the Block Explorer, based on this hash, the details about the transaction. Let's go with already completed one that I sent earlier before. Go to Block Explorer, then you go to last mined transaction, and here you see all the transactions that are mined in the blockchain. You can use the search field to search by hash, and you're just pasting it, and the desired transaction appear. You can see the same hash, you can see the amount that was transferred, and when it was mined through the blockchain. Very soon, it means in the next 2 weeks, we're going to release a new feature for the Block Explorer that will allow you to click It will allow you to click on the transaction hash and to see details about the sender, the receiver, and what's happening with the validation of this transaction. Thank you very much. If we go in this account for the receiver, you know that in his wallet, he can see all the transactions that are delivered to him. So, as I told you, a few seconds are needed for the transactions to come to the receiver. And my birthday present for King is here. 11 coins. Here, this user can do the same. He can copy the hash, he can go to Block Explorer, he can go to the last mined transactions. It's the last mined transactions, but he can search for it, and he can find the proper records about the hash. This way, you can follow all the transactions through our blockchain and check their validity and how many validation nodes go through them. Do you want to see anything else? Do you want to ask more questions? Let's have 2 questions for my final words. Okay? Okay, one there and one here.
Muchas gracias. Buenas tardes. Muy amable por esa intención y ese deseo que le sale del corazón de querernos explicar una temática un poco compleja. Hoy por hoy una tecnología moderna. Mi pregunta es la siguiente. Se ha hablado que nosotros nos colgamos o participamos del blockchain de la moneda Ethereum. Se ha dicho eso en pasadas oportunidades. Gracias.
Thank you very much for those technical issues that you have mentioned. I would like to know, or it's been said, that we are working on the Ethereum platform or Ethereum technology. What about this?
Yes, we are using Ethereum as an open source blockchain technology that is well developed, standardized, and quite familiar through the community. Entire world know what is Ethereum. We are stepping on it. We are building our private blockchain using Ethereum technology. And this way we have two benefits. First one is that everything that Ethereum proof work for us. And the second one is that we can handle it privately as our ecosystem required. Thank you. Last question. Yeah?
Okay. 2 in 1. Dos. Two.
Let's see it.
Ok. La primera va muy unida a la del caballero. Estamos sobre Ethereum, pero cuando salga nuestro OneForex al público, ya no vamos a necesitar Ethereum, porque tenemos nuestro propio blockchain. Quiero la confirmación de esa inquietud.
Okay.
La segunda.
The first question is that we are now working with the Ethereum technology. When we will have the OneForex platform out in public, are we going to use the same technology, or what are we going to use?
Okay, that's first question. And the second part?
La segunda, Gus.
Si se puede reversar una transacción errónea.
If you've had any mistake during any transaction, can it be reversed?
I don't get this question, but I will answer.
Can you get it to the original position without making the real transaction?
No.
Yes, reversed.
You need to make the same transaction in opposite direction.
No, you just make a mistake with the transaction, so you would like to come back with the transaction.
Now it's irreversible. When you send something to the blockchain, it's irreversible. About the OneForex, no, we're going to use the same technology because OneForex is planned to use the same technology and to develop under this ecosystem and this blockchain type. Thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure to me to be here and to speak about the blockchain. I hope that you are more familiar now with our technology, you are more comfortable with it, and you know that we have something special that we can build on. Thank you.